I just had a great Primavera P6 question come in. My friend John asks, is there a way in Primavera P6 Pro client to which I can view my resource loading without having to open all of the projects? We have too many projects and our system crashes when we open them all, so how can I view my resource loading across multiple projects? Tough question, and I've got a solution for you. Now let's talk about viewing resource loading data quickly. Number one, we know we have some graphs that we can use in Primavera P6 Pro, but without opening all the projects, we won't be able to use those. So our second best option to get that data out of P6 is to use the reporting feature, actual text reports. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video is a solution to create a really nice text report that will get all of your resource loading, time distributed data shown in a report. Let's go. This is going to be fun. I'm on the project screen in Primavera P6, and the first thing I need you to do is I need you to highlight all of the projects. That's a Control A, and then to right click and run the summarizer. Summarizing projects basically aggregates the data inside the projects and crunches some numbers, and that data then becomes available for reporting. So make sure you do that. It may take a couple minutes. Now I did it on a sample database and it took about 3 minutes. On a larger database, expect 10 minutes or maybe more. Okay, so now let's go up to the Tools menu and let's go to our Reports area. So Tools, Reports, Reports. Up at the top, we're going to create a new report. So hitting the Add button, New Report, and we're running this report wizard. Okay, next. This is going to be a time-distributed data report. That means show me the data spread across dates. Okay, so let's check that on. And let's choose Activity Resource and Role Assignments. We don't care about roles, just Activity Resource. So let's click Next. Okay, there we go. So now we get to do the normal layout building stuff. We pick our columns, group, and sort. And now we got to pick a few things special. So follow me. So columns, we got activity ID, name, start, finish. Now let's add project in here. So I'll expand general and add project up at the top. And that's good enough for the moment. Let's go to group and sort. And notice that we're group and sorting by resource ID name level 1. That looks good to me, but we're going to uncheck the indent box and we're going to change this terrible yellow color to blue. Great. Now, for that, we're going to show totals at the bottom. So if we want to have subtotals for each resource, we can show them at the bottom. Great. Let's also add a new line here and let's group these by project. So first, we're going to group by resource, and then we're going to group by project. And we can keep a slightly different color. I like the purple here. And I've decided not to have any totals for that level. Great. So let's click OK on our grouping. Okay, now let's go to Filter. Notice it says where open state equals open. So that means only report on projects that are currently open. But that's not what we want to do. We want to report on projects that are not open, closed. So let's change the value to close. Great. Okay, next. Here's where we can set our timescale and set our interval fields. Let's start with the interval fields. This is, again, picking the reporting data that we want to show. So to keep things simple, I'm just going to report on remaining units. Okay, so the number of man hours or person hours that we have. If you want to report on actual units or other things, feel free to customize that to your heart's content. Now, let's go to the time scale. Okay, in the time scale, you probably will have to set this manually. So typically we use this PS, the project start. But I know that from my database, my earliest project starts in 2010. Yeah, it's because I'm using the Oracle sample database. So we start in 2010, and then we go until 2016. So I'm just going to set those dates in. I think you should pick a custom date field, date range that works for you. Okay, calendar. Now I don't want to show this by month, but I want to show it by year. Again, feel free to customize it however you like, but to get the general gist, set it to year. Great, so let's click next. Okay, let's name this thing. This is going to be resource report all projects. There we go. And let's click next. Okay. I'm not going to run it just yet. I'm going to click next one more time and save it. Okay, I want to save it first, and then I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to run it. Let's hit print preview and have a look at the results. Before we analyze the results of the report, I want to let you know there's a couple caveats and settings that are important to making this work, so make sure you check them out at the end of the video where I discuss them in detail. So here's our report. As you can see, I've got inspections, the name of the resource in blue, and then the listed projects are in purple, and then I have one line where I can see a summary of that resource's assignment for each project. Okay, so we zoom in a little bit, you can actually see the values. So that's what you get with this report, is you get a summary line for the resource, total for the budgeted or remaining units for that resource for the project. And this is a fairly lengthy report. I'm scrolling down, you can see it goes on and on and on and on. So this is pretty good output. Now, what can you do with this? If we go back, I'm going to close. If we go back and uncheck format numbers, trust me, you want to uncheck format numbers, and then run the report again, you have the option when you run these reports to actually send the data to Excel. So you can send it to a delimited text file and output the file here. It'll be a CSV file, which is a comma delimited file, and you can import that right into Excel. And then again, if you want to graph and slice and dice data, you can do that. Okay, now I want to stop here and back up a little bit and just tell you about some of the challenges I had getting this report to run. It didn't work the first time, or the second time, or the third time. And there is something to do with some of the settings in P6. So I'm going to show you what settings I have that eventually made it work, but I will let you know I actually closed P6 about 2 or 3 times and reopened it to get this to work. So this is finicky stuff. I hope you can get it consistently to work on your P6, but just there's a caveat there. Here are some of the settings that I think are important, okay? Let's go to Edit, User Preferences. And if you go to the very startup filters, the last tab here, there's a Resource Summary Data checkbox. I think that needs to be on. Also, go up to Resource Analysis. Okay, this one, All Projects, I've set this to All Closed Projects. That possibly has an impact on whether data shows up, so make sure you choose All Closed Projects. Also, under Time Distributed Data here, I have this set to Day. That's also a feature or a setting that plays a part, okay? So make sure you have those two set the same way I do. I also re-summarized the data in the project from the project screen once or twice to get it to work. However, this is a pretty good report, and I think this is going to give you what you need. So I wish you good luck with this one, and I'll see you again on another Ask Plan Academy.